this has been like a dream of mine for so long, like before I can even remember. And then the person that is supposed to be there to support me and like be excited for my, accomplishments wants to take that accomplishment away from me. That's not love. That's not what a ring symbolizes. So why should I wear the ring if you're not going to do what it symbolizes?
Welcome back to the Grapple Theory podcast. Thanks so much for joining us here today. Today we're joined by a very special guest. We're back over the pond in America, joined by someone who's had just a fantastic year. He's the current new Texas Pro champion. He's got a couple of other belts as well. He's just been over to the UK. We're going to be talking to him about that. Please welcome Stephen Wolf to the show. Stephen, thanks so much for joining us. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having me here. Grapple Theory, definitely something I've been looking forward to all week. So glad we can make it happen.
Thank you. That means a lot. And it's great to have you on. Absolutely. It's been a long time coming, I feel. And I feel like now is a really good time because you've had, as I sort of said in the intro there, you've had like a really great year. It feels like it's been a real sort of like breakout year for you in the ring. Does it feel that way for you?
Yeah, it definitely feels like I've been definitely riding a wave, so to speak, for the year. So I'm just trying to hang on and see how high I can get this thing.
I was going to say, do you get chances to like appreciate those moments while you're in the middle of that wave rising, or is it sort of like only afterwards when you take a step back you can see it?
It's a bit of both, right? So there's times when like I'm in the ring and I'm like, man, this is really freaking cool. But then there's other times when like, I'm so focused on the match that afterwards, like when I kind of decompress and I'm just like, this is wild. Like a couple weeks ago when I was in the UK, I was like, I'm actually here in London, like for wrestling. Like 16-year-old me could never imagine this happening. So like, I definitely do get to smell the flowers every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time coming getting you over here. How was I was going to bring it up later, but as you bring it up now, like how was that whole experience? Not just the wrestling, but like the whole time you had over here and in Europe as well.
It was wild. It was so cool. So I actually came to the UK when I was like 15, 16-ish for like a school trip. So I didn't really get to like experience a lot of stuff other than like, oh, hey, we're going to be here at like 2 o'clock, here at 3, here at 4, and so on. But like coming back, like as an adult, I feel like I can appreciate it a little bit more, have a little more freedom to do whatever I want, spend as much time at Nando's as I possibly can because that place is phenomenal.
I was going to say, it's always a fan favorite with people from like America and Canada and like Australia as well. When they come over, everyone raves about Nando's. Like here, it just seems normal, but like
yeah, like to you guys, it's just like a regular old KFC. We actually there's one in America in Chicago, Illinois, and I used to live close by there. And I went there and I was like, I don't really see like the hype. And then my first day in the UK, I was like, oh, I need to get some food. So I like walked over to a Nando's and I was like, I get it now.
Oh, it was better over here.
So much better, which is like insane, but like. Yeah, it was crazy. So much better.
Nice. Do you have like go-to side, like the obvious choice that you go for like your sides and stuff you get with your chicken?
Oh yeah, macaroni and cheese is definitely the top one out of everything.
Nice.
I think I actually just got 2 sides of macaroni and cheese the both times.
Double. Yeah, that's smart. To be fair, that's the way to do it. Yeah. What about spice level? You go spicy or not?
I'm not a big spice guy. Like I love like the YouTube show Hot Ones. Like, I'll watch that all the time.
Oh, it's so good. Like, it's just a great concept for an interview show, isn't it? Like,
yeah, it is. Like, then you like break down the character. I actually had the Hot Ones set. I did the whole run, and I feel like it just like flipped a switch to where like I can't do spicy stuff anymore.
You took it too far, yeah.
Exactly. So like now I'm like in the medium range, so
nice.
to speak. So yeah, nothing too crazy spicy, or else I start sweating.
No, sure, yeah, I get it. Like it sort of puts your like like almost like you have too much dairy, you become lactose intolerant. You have too much spice, and you're like, no more.
Exactly. Yeah. The human body can only take so much.
Exactly. No, that's great. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's obviously in the ring as well, like a really successful trip for you as well. I mean, like, talk to me about getting to wrestle at Rev Pro, because like obviously like again as a UK based fan, like I see Rev Pro as like the biggest company in the UK, but like how is it seen in America? How is Rev Pro like distinguished in America? Like where do you put it in terms of like big promotions, indie wise?
Yeah, indie wise, man, it's like it's exactly how you guys view it. It's the top promotion in the UK, possibly even like all of Europe. It's like absolutely insane. You got guys like old school like AJ Styles being there, Zack Sabre Jr.'s there constantly. Will Ospreay, Michael Oku, like Kurt Angle, all these crazy names that have been like inside that ring. So when I first got there that very first day, I just like looked at the ring and I was like, this is wild that I'm here right now. Like this is the same ring that all these guys have been into. Like it's truly like I knew I had to come and like show out and do like the absolute best I could, because that's really the standard they have for the company.
Yeah, and it felt like you did that again, like you say, like with that standard, like it feels like, and not feels like, I mean, like having spoken to him as well, like, you know, like Andy Quildan is a very tough man to please. Like, you know, if you're on a Rev Pro show, you're doing something right, because he sets his bar so high. Like, that must have been like, how did that like conversation go in terms of like the booking you? Did Andy get in touch with you and you were like, we want you over? Like, what was the whole like conversation like surrounding it?
Yeah, so it's kind of it was interesting how I got onto the show. So originally I was booked for to go over to WXW for the 16 karat weekend, and it was only going to be just one weekend, and I was good. And the fact that Hyan used to be at Rev Pro like regularly, I think she's done like 3 tours with them. And we've actually gotten really close with Amira and Michael Oku.
Yeah.
And you know, so they heard that I was coming over, and then Amira was like, "Oh my gosh, like send me your highlight video so I can give it to Andy." And then Hyan was like, "Send it to me too, so I can also bug Andy to get you on the show." And then next thing I know, I'm talking to Andy, and he was like, "Hey, we want to have you for like, you know, one show. It'd be great." I'm like, "All right, perfect." And then one show turned into 2, and like, and from the sound of it, it sounds like I'll definitely be back at some point in the future. It's not a matter of if, but when.
Hell yeah.
I'm glad everything worked out great.
Love to hear that. And it must be nice to get that like validation where like you have a couple of great shows and you leave with that feeling, sort of like almost knowing that you'll be coming back.
Yeah, it honestly is a great feeling of like, oh hey, I actually did something. Like I'm actually pretty good at this whole wrestling thing, you know. And I didn't really, when I was in the ring, I could feel it. I was like, all right, like this, like even the first match I had was me versus Leon Slater, and he's.
I mean, that's
like,
that's thrown in the deep end, right? Like in terms of like who are like the best wrestlers UK wise you could have faced at the minute. Like that's throwing you right in the deep end.
Exactly. And like I know like the scenes are a little bit different, but even in America, everybody knows who Leon is because he just got signed with TNA. Like as soon as that match got announced, I said, all right, well, I know exactly what I got to do. And we went for like 15 minutes, beat the holy hell out of each other. But I knew at the end of the day that like, all right, like I deserve to be here. It's not just a chance of luck or like knowing the right person. Like I was able to get the door open for me, but I was able to like bust that shit open. Excuse my language.
No. All language is fine here. Like we're very like open with that. You can say basically whatever you want.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, you're all good. No need to hold back. I was gonna say like how was Leon in terms of like that perception of like, do you look at it like, are you in the ring with him being like, because again as a fan and like speaking to other wrestlers from the scene, like we know how good he is, but like for yourself coming over, were you like someone who could look at it and like be in the ring with him and then be like, okay, I get why this guy is signed to TNA?
Yeah, it was definitely, because every time I'm about to wrestle somebody, I always watch footage. I try to get like, figure out like what their playbook is, like the perception on them and all that stuff. And all of Leon's stuff, I was like, yeah, this dude's crazy good. That's the Swanton 450. Absolutely. It's even scarier seeing when you're on the ground versus like just seeing it in video. But like, I guess there wasn't like, in my humble opinion, I wasn't like nervous about going into the ring with him. In my mind, I was like, okay, here's somebody that can go. And if I'm as good as I think I am, I'll have absolutely no problem.
Nice.
And like, him and I will have like a phenomenal match. And, you know, it's kind of validating just to myself to be like, okay, yeah, I was right. I can go with the likes of, you know, Leon Slater and, you know, later on Connor Mills and all these things. And like, man, like it was definitely a validating feeling for me.
Yeah.
But it was, and like, you know, a lot of people in the States were like, fucking told you, bro. I told you. Like, okay, yeah, I get it now. All right, I get it. We're good.
And you definitely did. That's the thing. You definitely did. You definitely did prove yourself in that. Like, obviously, knew you were great before, but like those 2 matches were like brilliant. And again, like against like Connor and Leon, like 2 of the best we got on the scene. Like really fantastic wrestlers. Is there anywhere else for like coming back that you got your eye on that you're like, they're next? They're the ones that I've got to take on.
I really want to work with Robbie X, because that is stupid good in and of himself. I was able to like meet and kind of speak and hang out with David Francisco.
Nice.
Love being in the ring with him. But like the main one, I mean, quote unquote, I know it's like a big thing like in social media today, the final boss of Rev Pro. I definitely want to go one-on-one with Michael Oku. Like that is a personal dream match of mine. And like he is like the standard that Rev Pro sets. He's the one that actually does set it. So nobody better to take than like the biggest dog in the yard, so to speak.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, like you mentioned that like relationship you already have with them. Like we've had Michael and Amira on, and like spoken to them just like personally as well. And like they hold you guys, both yourself and Hyan, in such high regard. And like I feel like that's like it's destined to happen at some point, right? Like even like you could even do like a mixed double, like a mixed tag kind of deal, and that would be great.
Yeah, exactly. Except Amir's wild, so I'd be kind of scared to win with her a little bit.
I was gonna say Oku's not the one you got to fear. Amira's the one you got to fear.
Yeah, she's fiery and she's Irish, and I am terrified. But still, I would that mixed tag would be phenomenal.
Yeah, insane. Yeah, that's the thing. Quilden will give you the match with Oku, and you'll be like, yeah, that's chill, that's fine. And then he'll be like, now you're facing Amira, and you'll be like, no, it's fine. I'm going back to America. It's chill, whatever.
Like, oh look, my flight just changed.
So good. No, we'd love to see that happen. We'd love to see that happen. And again, like it's been a fantastic year for you. Like obviously back home as well, new Texas Pro Champion. I mean, like talk to me about. We'll get into like the current storylines and stuff you've got going on in a minute. But like. Talk to me first about that feeling, about like winning that title, especially taking it off Bryan Keith, who like had the most ridiculous run with that belt, like absolutely phenomenal. Like how much, again, we talk about validation earlier, but like how much validation does it put on you when like promoter is like, we're gonna have Bryan Keith end this historic reign and we want you to be the one to end it?
Yeah, it was kind of a shock to me. Like I heard rumblings and idea of it, but like in wrestling standpoint, like nothing happens until like the pen meets the paper. Nothing happens till it's announced or anything like that. So I just try to like really just focus on just making myself better. Originally, I lived in the Midwest here in America, and it was great and all that stuff. And that's really where I learned like all my high flying stuff, being able to like do spots, sequences, things like that. But when we moved down to Texas, it feels like a completely different. I don't know if you've ever heard like old territory days back in America.
Yeah.
But it really does feel like that. Like it's a completely different vibe. Guys take like training and stuff far more serious here and like really breaking stuff down. So I really feel like that helped me grow. And New Texas has been like my home promotion since I moved down here like 2 years ago. And truly, man, like when they told me, when I found out really like that day, because it was supposed to be, I was in a ladder match in the opening match to win like the #1 contendership, almost like a money in the bank type situation. And then the match later on that night where it was him and Timothy Thatcher. That's when I went to go cash in. And, you know, nerves and everything. It was like 834 days or something like that he had the championship. Yeah. So nobody predicted that anybody can beat Bryan Keith. I mean, Timothy Thatcher, Speedball, Jake something, all these different guys he's beaten like for that title. And I think this is like the heel in me coming out, because when I cashed in, you know, there's rumblings in the crowd, all that stuff. And then when I hit that pin, it was 1, 2, 3, the crowd went like dead silent because they just like couldn't believe it. And then like as soon as they said "and new," that's when like the crowd absolutely erupted. And I was like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted. This is the moment. And like being the villain, it's just like, all right, I can't cry, I can't do this, like, but holy shit, I'm the new Texas Pro heavyweight champion now. Like this is a real thing. And I have 2 guys with me who I kind of mentor. They're like in my group with me. And I straight up told them, I said, listen, when I win, like, if you see me about to cry, you need to come in and congratulate me and stop that immediately. They're like, we got you. And I like got down, I looked at the belt, and I was like, oh, shit. And then as soon as like I felt them coming, I'm like, all right, yeah, we're good, we're fine, we're good. Back to 0.
Back to the character, yeah. You feel it, like, you feel like, yeah.
Exactly. But like the fact that they like entrusted me to be like, you know, the head of the company, you know, and really be able to represent not even just like in Texas, but like other companies within like America, and then even being able to bring it all the way to Germany for WXW. That's the first time anybody's ever taken that title anywhere outside of America. So it's an honor and a privilege to be able to be their champion.
Yeah,
truly.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, isn't it? Is like we've spoken to a few wrestlers about this, but like that the fact that the chase for the belt, or the building yourself up to make yourself a contender to get that opportunity, is an entirely different type of pressure to then holding it and being the one who's the face of the company.
Exactly. Like when you're in a match, you're like, all right, if I mess up, like, you know, it is what it is. I can just get it back next week. But like when you have the championships, like no, there are no mistakes. There are no redos. It's either this is what the company is going to look like while you have that like title over your shoulder. Like, so that's why every week I'm like, all right, it's got to show out. I've got to keep moving, keep going, keep going.
But that's why you were smart as well. You see, like that's the thing with that sort of cashing is like it's smart business, right? Because you know that you're like. And people have shown over time that like it's very difficult to beat Bryan Keith when he's at 100. So like the best time to get the belt off him is when he's just had his ass kicked by Timothy Thatcher, right? Like,
I mean, hey, work smarter, not harder, right? That's what it's all about.
It's all up here. It's all up there. That's
exactly.
Timothy was just doing you a favor, really. That was all it.
I just slapped him an extra like 20 pounds.
Yeah, just give him an extra kick. It's all good. It's.
Exactly. I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, love it. I love it. So what was like, again, like we'll sort of like break the fourth wall essentially, but like, again, you didn't want to obviously cry in the ring, you got to keep that character. What about when you go behind the curtain? What is it like then? Like, when does it like sink in? Like, oh shit, this has happened.
Yeah, I think it really sunk in like the next morning. So like that night I was buzzing about it, and like of course everything was super cool. Everybody's congratulating me, and I was just like, hell yeah, because this is actually the first title at a major company that I've ever won. I've won, tag team belts. I've won, singles championships at like lower ranked companies, respectfully. But this is the first like mainstream like heavyweight title that I've ever won. And we have like a wall of championships in our house, which, it's awesome.
Yeah.
But like I woke up the next morning and I looked over it because I put it there the night before, and I was like, holy shit, I actually did that. Like,
it's still there, yeah.
Yeah. And like when you turn the light on, there's like one light directly like just hitting it perfectly, and I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah. That moment, like that's a moment I imagine where you can sit back and be like, oh shit, like really appreciate it.
Exactly. That's when I was just like, yeah, dude, I finally did it. I finally, achieved something that I've always wanted to do. And then like in my head, like I said, I was smelling the flowers, so I was like, all right, now the real work starts now.
Yeah.
Like I have the belt now. It's time to prove why I deserve this belt.
Yeah, for sure. And again, like your run so far has been brilliant. And that brings us beautifully on to what you got going on in a minute. Because, I mean, I've got to ask, I love your Ali poster in the background there. Like, I don't know what room of your house this is, but I imagine you're confined to it now, right, at the minute? Like, are you, like, just sort of confined to this one room with how things are at the moment with Hyan?
Yeah.
Like, is she...
I got a nice bed right here, as you can see. I got a computer. I got my PlayStation 5.
Everything you need. Everything you need.
Everything. I'm good. I'm great. No, yeah, so confined in the room for a little bit. I have bathroom breaks every 3 to 4 hours that I'm allotted. So
do you have to like sneak out? Is it like a sort of sneak out kind of thing? Make sure she doesn't see you, or like?
Exactly. Well, she naps a lot, so like that.
That's handy. That is handy. Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta stop the microwave at 3 seconds beforehand. Like.
Yeah. Make sure, but she can't hear. Like really rush back to the room. Like, is he out of the room? No. I've been here the whole time. It's fine.
Exactly.
I was gonna say, I imagine she can't be too happy with you. I mean, like that video went pretty viral on social media. It was a brilliant moment, like fantastic. And I mean, Hyan, if you're watching, just to see what Steven's saying about you, I'm sorry. I am sorry, but brilliant moment. It was fantastic. It was really cool, and like it must be like a really, again, like cool feeling to be able to have that moment with her and like be able to put on this sort of like upcoming storyline.
Yeah, it actually is really cool. So, usually couples in wrestling, they're either, managing or they're doing a tag team thing or all that. And Hyan is like, because of her time just traveling constantly, like everybody absolutely loves her. And because of what I did, everybody hates me. So, I mean, we're like, screw it. I'm going to switch it up. Because the last New Texas show, she tried to cash in because she actually won the contract after that. And so she tried to cash in on me. And originally I wasn't slated to be on the show, but I was able to catch my flight from Germany, that 12 hours, whatever it was.
Dedication.
Hey, if you want a champion like me, all you got to do is just put the title on me. That's all I'm saying. But I literally left the airport and got to the venue. The show started at like 6:30. I got there like 7. And like she was later on that night. So nobody really knew I was coming in. And she like obviously had no idea what I was going to say, because I literally just told the promoter, I was like, hey, I'm gonna cut a promo. Okay, cool. And when all that did happen, and I could just feel the heat and just like my thought process is like, how can I get people to hate me? All right, cool. I'm gonna do that. I'll apologize in the back. It's not all real, but man, like when I took off my wedding ring, I'm really
yeah, it's still gone. Yeah, absolutely. I imagine she's got it under lock and key somewhere.
yeah, exactly. But like when I threw my ring at her, like I mentioned, like you coming for my gold, you can keep this one. I'm gonna hold on to the title.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the heat from the crowd was incredible. Like that moment was brilliant. But again, like it shows how much that belt means to you, right? It shows how much like you're willing to go through. And like I imagine it hurts, right, when your partner, the person you love, the person that you spend your life with, is trying to take that off of you.
Yeah, and like people don't understand that this has been like a dream of mine for so long, like before I can even remember. And then the person that is supposed to be there to support me and like be excited for my accomplishments wants to take that accomplishment away from me. That's not love. That's not what a ring symbolizes. So why should I wear the ring if you're not gonna do what it symbolizes?
Yeah, yeah. You don't want to wake up in the morning and like have her looking at the belt on the wall, because it's the same wall, and it's going to be the same wall. You don't want her looking up at it. You're the one that gets to wake up looking at it.
Exactly. And like at the end of the day, she's my wife, and I do love her. But when we're in the ring, she's not my wife. She's just another opponent, another challenger, and somebody that I'm going to have to, unfortunately, beat up. Like that's just if ands or buts about it.
I was going to say, you've got history as well at New Tex as well, and you beat her last year, was it?
Yep. So
already 1-0. Already 1-0.
Exactly. That's kind of my process. Like I was able to come in like that day she was supposed to wrestle somebody else. Unfortunately, they got injured. So she did an open challenge. So I was like, let's have some fun. Came out, had the open challenge, and I beat her. One of the best women's champions New Texas has ever seen. I was able to beat her, right? And so she thinks that she can just come in and take my title. Like I should have won the women's championship, honestly, because it was an open challenge for the title. But
yeah, what's happening there? Actually, it's a fair point. Yeah, I mean, like it's ridiculous.
It is, but I know that's one of her achievements and something that she loves. So I said, you know what? You can hold the title. You can have it. I'm not going to be that guy that takes it away from you. But now she wants to switch it up and do it to me, like
outrageous. Hyan, I thought we liked you at the podcast, but clearly there's words need to be had.
Yes, everybody's a good guy until you hear the whole story. Then you find out.
You got to hear both sides. You got to hear both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I've been the same since day one. I've told everybody what I'm about. But now that I do it to my wife, people think like he's a monster. No, I've been like this.
Yeah, it's just dedication to the craft.
Exactly.
Yeah, you worked hard to get that back. Again, you're flying like you say, like that flight from WXW. You're getting there for that shit. Like, that's dedication there as well. Like for that to be a moment where things shift is not on.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like now I'm not really invited to a lot of family things anymore.
A bit awkward. Yeah, a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, my mother-in-law hates me, and it sucks. She's a really good cook, but. I be getting down with my chicken and rice and my ramen, and like that's really all I need. So
nice. We'll fly you some Nando's over. We'll fly you some proper Nando's over as well. Get it delivered like through. I'm sure you have a window, like a small window.
Yeah. Just that. We're on third floor though, so that might be a little tricky.
Oh, tricky. Yeah. We'll get a ladder or something. It'll be fine.
I've seen on Looney Tunes that we could probably incorporate. So yeah, we're fine.
I was gonna say as well though, like again, we talk about smart planning. That's where the smart planning comes into hand, right? Because you do it just after Christmas, because then there's less major family gatherings. Like now, I mean, obviously, I don't know what the situation is in terms of like birthdays and stuff, but like now, I imagine there's not going to be a big family thing until like Thanksgiving or something.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, because like it was like Christmas, and then like 5 days later was my birthday, and then we just kind of keep rolling. I will say, Hyan and I's like dating anniversary when we first started, boyfriend girlfriend thing was March 6th, and this happened on March 10th. So I was able to get that little bit of a window too. I made sure to hit it right on the money.
Yeah, so, just after. Like, when's the next serious obligation? When can I make my move at the smart time?
I could have saved my money and did it before Valentine's Day, but I figured I'd be a nice guy.
I was going to say, then you could do the whole, like, classic, almost like the fake gift that you see, like, parents do for, like, their kids at, like, Christmas and stuff, where, like, you look like you're giving her the belt and she unwraps it and it's not the belt, it's something else. You're like, ha!
Yeah, it's like a little toy one from, like, Target.
Yeah, you wanted the belt, there you go.
Mm-hmm. It's a nice off-brand Gucci, here you go.
Love it. Well, no, I love the work you're doing. And again, like in terms of, because we've spoken again to Amir and Oku about it. We've spoken to loads of other couples actually about like those dynamics of getting to work together. And it must be really enjoyable to be able to like collab on those things creatively and like be like, where can we take this from here? How can we get this over even more than it is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And like kind of using like a baseball aspect, like this is just like the beginning. This is like first, second inning. Like we're really trying to make this thing into the biggest thing possible. That's one thing I love about wrestling that not a lot of places do anymore is like the big storylines. It's hard with indie wrestling because, you know, guys move away, guys get signed, and it's great for them, but it's hard for like the company. New Texas truly is my home, so I want to be able to do everything I can for them. And story-wise, that's all I want to do. I want to build people up. I want to be personally the one to knock them down, but I want to build up, you know, anticipation and like have the people get what they pay for. Because everybody can appreciate a good fireworks show, but you can't tell me, you know, what firework you saw first and then second and third. But you can tell me exactly in a cinematic movie, you know, what happened first, second, third, so on.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of the way I see it in a sense.
No, for sure. And I love that. And well, now that brings us on nicely to our first little feature here on the podcast. And again, we've talked a little bit of dirt about Hyan. You'll get a chance to do a little bit more of it now, but also not just her, everyone else in the New Texas locker room, because as the New Texas champ, I feel like you have the right to cast judgment on the rest. Obviously, you're the top, of course. So this feature is called Dishing the Dirt. And I'm going to pose you some questions, and I want you to let me know which member of the New Texas locker room you think each scenario like best applies to.
I love it. Let's go for it.
So the first one is who's always running late?
Who's always running late?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Bryan Keith.
Is he?
Yes, always constantly late.
I mean, he used to have the belt, right? And that sort of gives you leeway to be a bit late, I guess. But like now he's not got the belt. He's got to be on time.
Exactly. But it'd be like first match to start and you see him like creeping through the door.
You'd be like, oh, you just haven't been here the whole time. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Bryan, you got to work on that, mate. You got to work on that. The next one is who has the worst music taste?
Who has the worst music taste? Ooh,
This doesn't have to be like just specifically to the locker room. It can be like people you like travel with or anything else for like that.
Ooh, okay. So I think the person with the worst musical taste, I'm gonna be honest, I have been told it's me, but that's why I'm like, hey, you know, my musical taste is for me, not for you. It's for me.
It's all opinion. It's all subjective. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think I have bangers, but I'm gonna honestly go with myself because that's what everybody else does.
What do you listen to? What do you go for?
So I got like honestly a little bit of everything. So I'm like my playlist goes from like Frank Sinatra to like Hollywood Undead over to like Dr. Dre and like to Temptations. So everything in between. It's just more like it's almost like a charcuterie board of just music in my playlist.
No, I like that. I will admit though, the fact that you put Hollywood Undead in that list does put you on the bad music taste list. I think like. See, they're the one. Like Temptations, great. Sinatra, brilliant. Dr. Dre, great, fantastic. But like, not Hollywood Undead. That's where I'll draw the line.
Morally, they're terrible, but like the music, it gets me going.
I grew up as like a big like rock metal guy, and so like for me, Hollywood Undead are like the sort of like they're trying to be it, but it's not. I don't think it works.
No, 100. I totally get
but again,
it. Not a cup of tea, but you know.
No, exactly. It's all subjective, isn't it? It's all subjective at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. The next one is who's the. This one's a bit nicer. It's who's the comedian of the locker room? Who can you always count on to make you laugh the most?
I'd go with JJ Blake.
Yeah.
Yes, because that man, he has the most creative ways in the world of roasting somebody.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like there is times when like he'll just go on a rant for like 15 minutes and I can't breathe because like there's somebody looking at him like, and he's just like, and another motherfucking thing. And it's like, Jesus, let him breathe.
We know he's going to be like the roast master when they do the New Texas Pro roast.
Exactly. That's literally that'd be his like dream job.
That'd be great. To be fair, I'd love that. Like a wrestling roast as a show would be a fantastic idea. I think.
I'm gonna write that down.
I mean, feel free. I mean, if it gets used, then feel free to give us a bit of credit, but that's fine.
You guys will be on the roll credits at the end.
I'll tell you what, we love a bit of fantasy booking here. We booked some weird matches here. We booked like the nativity show at Christmas and stuff like that. It's been some wild shows booked here. So we always like a bit of fantasy booking.
Hey, there you go.
The next one is it's all like, again, almost like what the first question. It's either for their match or after the show. Who takes the longest to get ready?
Who takes the longest to get ready?
Yeah.
Ooh. I would say longest to get ready, or like, I think longest to get ready after their match. So like take the gear off, do all that. That would be Hyan.
Yeah, does she?
The show will be over, and then 45 minutes later, it's like, you weren't even the main event. Why are you still in your gear? Like, I want to go get some food.
I was gonna I want to go home. Come on.
Yeah. So like now we drive separately to shows, so it's not that big of a deal. But like, yeah, she'll like they'll be like sweeping brooms around. She's like, I guess I'll take my boots off. Like, just like, hurry up, come on.
I was gonna say, at least you had the foresight to not carpool anymore, because I imagine that would be a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, because one, I'm not driving her around, and she gets upset when I put the title in the passenger seat and make her sit in the back. So it's kind of.
But no, the title gets shotgun, obviously.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
I gotta make sure it's the safest seat in the house.
Yeah. Like you driving in like the carpool lane or whatever it is, and like you get stopped, like pulled over, like there's not a person, but they look in, they're like, oh no, it's the new Texas Pro title. That's fine. Go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Got me out of these 3 or 4 tickets. Yeah. So.
I love it. Well, the next one is like sort of I've had a couple of like, again, people over the pond that we've interviewed be a bit confused by this question, because there's a very specific person I always have in mind when I ask this over here in the UK. But it's, who brings the best food to the locker room?
Who brings the best food?
Yeah, like if anyone brings like their pre-show meal or like any snacks or anything. Does anyone bring any food generally?
Honestly, like in America, no. If we do, it's literally just like hard-boiled eggs, chicken, rice, just like the very basic, very, very basic stuff. So.
Okay. So the reason I ask is because next time you're over here, I'll say you need to try and make sure you're booked on a show with Nina Samuels, because she is the best baker in BritRest. Like, hands down. Like, she always brings like brownies and cookies to the locker room. And she started selling them at merch now, which again was, I'm going to claim it was another one of our ideas here on the podcast. But like, yeah, and like everyone raves about them. Everyone talks about how incredible they are. So next time you're back over here, make sure she's on a show you're on, and you'll get to try, and you'll see what the hype's about there, because yeah, she's fantastic. And that's why I have that question in.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Like sometimes they'll be catering at shows, but like nothing that anybody cooks. It's more of like a bulk thing. But
does anyone have good catering? Like, do they put out a good spread for you guys?
Yeah, usually like it varies sometimes. Maybe it's just like a little bit of like a Subway type deal where like you just have golden bread sandwiches, things like that. Other times I'll have straight up like, again, like a nice grilled chicken, macaroni and cheese and stuff like that. I was actually on a Black Wrestlers Matter show where one of the wrestlers' moms actually brought like a whole thing of fried chicken, a whole thing of mac and cheese, like the whole spread. And like a lot of us were working on it, like, yeah, this definitely is a black show, huh? Yeah, all right. We did not.
Then it's tough though, isn't it? Because you see it there staring at you like, I gotta wait till after my match to be able to have any.
Yeah, see, the trick is you grab 2 plates, you make up your plate, you just put the other one on top, and then you put it like in your gear bag while you're working.
Smart. I was going to say, because then there's the danger, obviously, that it's all gone by the time you're done, but that's smart. I like it. I like it. I respect the thought behind that. Again, just learning very quickly, like, again, like, knew it before, but, like, just very intelligent, not just in terms of, like, the in-ring stuff, but you're always thinking of the extra stuff, going the extra mile with it. I like it. I respect it.
Right, work smarter, not harder. That's my motto.
Love it. The next one is, okay, the next one I'd say is the one that is, like, the most dirt-worthy and might get you in a bit of trouble depending on who you say. I definitely don't think you can say Hyan for this one. Because it's, who has the worst dress sense?
Who has the worst dress sense?
Who will, like, rock up to a show in some, like, street clothes that you're like, what is that?
Yeah, okay. First person that pops in my head, his name is Kenny Calypso. This man will wear, like, a Hawaiian shirt and then basketball shorts and then, like, just, like, flip-flops. And he looks like the dude off of Rocket Power. And like he just comes in and he has like pineapple glasses too. And I'm like, I get it. I see what you're going for. It's definitely not it, but I see it. I respect it. Okay.
Does he pull it off though? Does he like, in terms of like one specific style that only he could have, does he pull it off?
So you know how you'll see like a stain on the concrete and you're like, somebody really needs to clean that up. But like by the 5th or 6th time you've seen it, it's just kind of like, oh yeah, that's just how the concrete is. It's just kind of
okay. That's Kenny. All right. Brilliant. That is a look. There's a couple of wrestlers over here that I think would appreciate that look. As a fan, I can't say I'd be one of them, but
yeah, people get behind it, and I'm like, all right.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, you're talking to the guy that's worn like band and wrestling T-shirts and black jeans for like every day since he was like 14. So I have no right to question anyone on style.
Hey, I'm literally wearing wrestling stuff right now. You're good.
Like, it doesn't change, literally. Like, 15 years, no change in my style whatsoever. I'm like, nah. Why would I change now?
Exactly. I feel like it's a guy thing, too, where it's like, oh, this works for me, so why would
you risk changing it?
Yeah, I literally wear this hat, like, almost every single day. I'm like, why do you wear that? You just got a haircut. And I'm like, because it's just me. I just wear the hat.
No, I get it. I like it. The next one is, I always say is like, oh, actually, yeah, sorry, I'm missing out one out. This is sort of like on the opposite side of worst dressed. So, you've forgotten your gear for a show, okay? Happened to every wrestler at some point. And you need to borrow someone's gear. And we're talking one size fits all. You can pick anyone at all. Whose gear do you look at and you're like, I could pull that off?
Like anybody in New Texas or anybody in general?
Let's say anyone in indie wrestling, but you can pick anyone.
Oh, damn, he just got some. Okay. I was going to say Will Ospreay. He's like,
Will does have good gear. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Comes to indie wrestling, one size fits all. I'd probably go with
Hyan.
Her jacket, yeah. I will say, like, her jacket's her gear is really great. I will say, I don't know how I'd look in a crop top, but
I think you can pull it off.
I think so. Well, as long as the abs are
I was gonna say, just shows it off, doesn't it? Yeah.
You know what? I think you want something.
That's why I'm the champ. Yeah, look at those abs.
Exactly. That's my thing. It's like, as long as my back looks good, my abs, like, who cares?
No, go on. Who did you have in mind?
I would probably say there's these guys that are coming up. They're called the Eighth Day. Dude named Ode. He's the leader of the Eighth Day. He's a bit of a bitch, but he does have really nice gear. I will say that. Very nice.
What we talk? I can't say the name that rings a bell for me. So what are we talking about gear wise?
Oh, they're relatively new. So the Eighth Day, the whole gimmick is that they are they're basically like, what's the word? Prophets.
Right.
For the Eighth Day. So he comes out in this nice robe. His gear is like pure white. Got the white hats, white boots, gold lace, all this stuff. He's Palestinian, so like he has like the garb on there too. And I'm just like, all right, man, like you gotta look. I'm gonna beat your ass if you talk to me sideways, but you got a great look.
That sounds pretty cool. I have to look him up because that sounds like a great look. That sounds really cool.
Yes, they. I will say they did like a 5-10 minute vignette of just what the Eighth Day is, and it's probably the best part of cinema I've ever seen.
Really? Okay, I definitely need to check it. I'll let you know what I think afterwards. After this, I'm going to check it out, and I'll let you know what I think.
Yeah, I'll send you the link on Twitter.
Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll look that up. Yeah. I mean, just on the gear sound alone, it sounds pretty cool. Like, it sounds like they've really got like the vibe down. So I look forward to seeing that. Nice.
Oh.
The next one I always say is like really counterproductive to ask a wrestling locker room, but who's the most competitive?
Who's the most competitive? My boys Danny King and Casey Cream.
Yeah?
Yes, they are the most competitive people in the world. They are literally, I think they're like a little bit over, a little bit under a year in the business, and they are stupid good. It makes me so angry because like I watch them and like I'll watch like my old stuff back and I'm like, y'all leagues ahead of where I was. But like to them, I'm like, oh yeah, great match, guys. Only critiques are like, A, B, and C, and they're like, we need to get better. We need to do better. We got this. Like, da da da. Like screw everybody else here. We're gonna be the best. Like, da, da, da. I'm like, all right. I love the intensity, but like, give your guys self like some humility. But no, they are the most competitive men ever. And then like we'll play like road games like when we're driving and stuff, and they get so pissed off.
What are we talking about road game wise? What do you play?
So one of the ones that we play, it actually takes quite a while. It's like the wrestler name game. So I say somebody like Bret Hart, right? And the next person in the rotation would have to name a wrestler whose name starts with an H. So you could say, you could say something like Hunter Hearst Helmsley or Triple H. And then the next person has to do an H as well. And then you just kind of keep going down the way.
First letter of the last name is how it goes.
Yes. So It's like Hector Guerrero. All right, next guy. Got to do a G. It's like, all right, Gorilla Monsoon. Right,
I like that. I've always played it like just the last letter of the name. But I like the last letter of the first name. That makes it it just mixes up a bit. Gives you a bit more variation as well, I imagine.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And then when you hit the doubles, almost like a Hulk Hogan, then it's like, all right, order reverses now. So you get one phone a friend, and then that's it.
I like that. That sounds cool. Yeah, again, that competitive nature, especially in the ring, is sort of what you want, though, don't you? You want people, especially the up and comers who haven't been in it very long. You want them to have that drive, that burn to constantly pushing themselves to be the best they can be.
Yep, 100%, absolutely. And them wanting to get better makes me get better too. We're constantly feeding off each other.
You got to be careful though. You're building your own competition here. You got.
Exactly, but we're all in the same group. They're part of the pack, so they understand who the leader is. So
for now,
forever.
Yeah,
forever.
Make sure you know that. Yeah. The next one is again. So a hypothetical world where everyone in the locker room is having a party on the same night, and they've all invited you. I'm going to say again. You can't say Hyan for this one because you live in the same house. So they've all invited you. And you can, of course, only pick one party to go to. Whose do you go to? Whose is the party that you need to be at?
Oh, Danny and KC's. Only because, one, they're a tag team. We're the same group, and not a lot of people like us. So we just be able to hang out on our own.
I was going to say, no one else would show up. They'd just be like you guys.
Exactly. And all we have to do is just, eat some sushi, watch some wrestling, and just gossip little, just chickens the entire time. It'd be a great time.
Nice, love it.
Them or Danny B and Charity King.
Nice.
Those two are also just great.
Awesome. Well, the final one's my favorite on the list. And again, you can't say the pack, and you can't say Hyan for this one either. So I'm narrowing it down a little bit, but you'll see why. Because it's who would you choose to be your partner in the zombie apocalypse?
I already said JJ Blake for one, so I'm not gonna say him again. I would say for a zombie apocalypse.
So you have we've had people be strategic here. It's do you feed them to the wolves, or do you want someone who's you're gonna stand next to you? That's the thing. You got to be strategic with this one.
I was literally just thinking. I was like, is somebody that I want to sacrifice to make sure I can get. It's the whole bear thing, right? You don't have to be faster than the bear. You just have to be faster than the other person you're running.
Exactly.
So zombie apocalypse. Who would I want? You don't have to worry about me saying Hyan because, I'm sorry, but she would die so fast. So fast.
Not got what it takes to stick it out.
Exactly. And, I'm trying to think because, in America, we, especially down here in Texas, a lot of people have guns. I'm trying to think, who has the most guns?
That's a question that's a weird one for the listener. Who has the most guns in the locker room?
Yeah, my weird question was, who brings the best food? Your weird question is, who has the most guns? But I'd probably say, I love him, but this dude named Just Nick, he's one of the guys. He it's gonna be sacrificed to the wolves a little bit because he is a very loud individual. So I'll be like, yeah, go over there and search for supplies. I'll just be talking all himself. And I'm about a mile down the road, just And
then once the talking stops and you can't hear him, or there's trouble, you're like, okay, this is my cue to leave.
Exactly. It's like a reversal alarm. When you don't hear the noise, then you're good.
Like it. Smart choice. I like it. Well, a couple of things I want to get into before we get into our closing feature is you mentioned the pack a few times in that feature, and I want to talk to you about those guys because I want to ask how did it all come together, the pack? How did it start? What were the roots of it in terms of not storyline wise, pre-storyline, building it up, being this is something we want to do. How did that all begin? Yeah,
so actually when I first came down here to Texas, I started training at the Houston Training Academy, headed by basically New Texas, so JJ Blake, Kiefer Partek. And I was really training with a lot of guys, but when it came to Danny and KC, they got it. They were very good very quickly. they always tell me like, oh yeah, we know we skipped a lot of steps. I'm like, you guys didn't skip any steps, you just blew past them. And they were already a tag team, but they kind of needed like a little bit more of like an edge to them. So it was kind of like, oh, you know what, like, let me move with them. Like, let me go in there and be their like mentor almost and be the pack. And then we had a couple different things where like they were teasing like a boogeyman because they're the dream team originally. And so they had the boogeyman showing up in the dreams and stuff like that. And then lo and behold, there's Stephen Wolf with the boogeyman, And so it's definitely more of like it used to be like a teacher-student type mentor, like type roles and stuff like that. But like, it's kind of built to like more of like a mentorship of not just wrestling, just like everything in general. Like I just met like Danny's girlfriend a couple weeks ago and I was like, oh man, that's awesome. Like good for you guys. Like we shoot the shit and like, Cam talking about like, or like Danny graduating college, Cam starting up new jobs, being, 20 years old, fresh out of it, And so really just trying to like really see those guys as like little brothers now versus, just like my underlings.
Yeah. And slightly cursing your age a bit as well. Like when you're with people like that much younger.
Yeah, we were literally talking about like video games and I was like, man, I used to love playing SmackDown versus Raw 2008. That's a banger. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I was in the third grade when that came out. And I was like, oh God. I was like, oh. He said he wasn't even born yet. And I was like, geez, what is going on?
Yeah.
God, this is a nightmare, bro. Like, how are you so young? I hate this so much.
Literally, like, had very similar with we had Leon Slater on the show a little while ago, like just before Christmas, I think. And he was talking about how like when he was like 13, like 12, 13, he wanted GTA or something. And he was and it was like GTA 5 and he was like I was like thinking back and I was like, okay, so I was like 20 then. That's upsetting. Like he's like this young kid who wanted GTA, like even though he definitely shouldn't have been allowed it. And I was already 20 years old. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Right, like I remember after my match with him, like I went into the locker room, I was like, fuck. And they're like, what's wrong? I was like, he's only 19. This is bullshit. Like, how is he that good already? Like, come on.
It's ridiculously unfair, isn't it? It's ridiculously unfair.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
I'm not sure what's like, again, both in America and the UK, I'm not sure what's like in the water of like this new age coming up, like these like 19, 20-year-olds that they're like that good. Like, it's mad.
It's all the hormones that get put in McDonald's, I swear. Like the Happy Meals. It just makes them like...
It just powers you through, yeah.
Exactly. It's like mustaches by the age of 9. What's going on?
Absolutely. Well, no, you mentioned the move to Texas like before. And we'll get into that as well, just because like obviously that's like a huge thing, especially like in America where it's so big. I imagine that like it's basically almost like changing country, apart from like the language and stuff like that. I imagine it's just like a very much like, oh, this is a very new place to what I'm used to. Like how long did it take you to sort of like bed into like just the lifestyle of living somewhere new and like being able to meld that with your wrestling? Because I imagine like, again, when there's a lifestyle change, it normally like has some sort of impact on your in-ring work just because you're getting used to adjustments.
Yeah, absolutely. It took a little bit of an adjustment period. I'd probably say relative like a month or so. Not just from like the wrestling standpoint, but just like real life, like trying to figure out where I'm going, like trying to figure out like a good gym to go to, like where are the best like food spots and all that. And like where we're at in Houston, Texas, it's a very, very like culturally rich place, very diverse. Where like my hometown is, Peoria, Illinois, it's literally just like in the center of a cornfield. So like I was always like the token black friend. So like being here, it's like a whole nother just like world, right? And again, like what I was saying, like with the wrestling, it's completely different. Where up there is more just about like, like the holy shit chants. Where down here, it's more about the storytelling and making things make sense and like the little things, which I found is like very much like how the UK scene was like as well. So I think like moving down here to Texas, one, made me a better, more well-rounded wrestler, and two, it just helped me be able to relax and like learn how to take my time and make those moments. And that's what really helped me kind of have the year that I'm having, going to Rev Pro, going to WXW, doing all these amazing things. And I genuinely don't think that would have happened if I didn't come down here to Texas and really hone my craft more.
Yeah, it's weird how that like little like almost like butterfly effect can happen, right? And like just that small change you don't even consider could have led somewhere, like lead somewhere.
Absolutely, man. Like, this is a little bit of a tangent, but like how I started wrestling, I was actually working at Toys R Us at the time, and I picked up a closing shift for somebody because I was like, I'm broke, I need money. And this guy came in, bought like a Power Ranger toy, and I was just like talking to him because we were dead. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, he's like, oh yeah, I collect figures and da da da. He's like, I also collect wrestling action figures. And I was like, oh, I love wrestling. I always wanted to do it when I was a kid. Like, it was great. Like, I watched it like with my family and stuff. He's like, oh, well, I have a company if you want to come check it out. And I was like, yeah, sure. And then next thing I know, like I'm getting in a ring, and it's crazy to think like all of that happened because I just decided to pick up a random shift.
Yeah.
At Toys R Us. So.
That's
like,
mad.
That butterfly effect is real.
That is, it's very rare. And now look at you in the doghouse at home. It's all led to that. All that all started. Now has led to this.
I think doghouse makes it sound a little bit. I like the wolf's den.
Sure. It's because I spotted your dog in the background, and that gave me the idea of it.
Oh yeah, little Shiba.
Yeah.
He's just kind of chilling right here.
Oh, adorable.
Because I'm a big Dragon Ball Z fan. So.
Oh my god, very cute. How old?
He just turned 1 in November, so he's a little bit over that. I think
I was gonna say that's like sort of like energetic age.
Yeah, this is the I don't care if you're my father, I'm gonna do what I want type of phase. And he's a Shiba, so like he screams constantly or like makes these weird noises.
Very cute though, very cute. I was gonna say we've had not the first person to have their pet on the podcast. We've had a few pets on the podcast, but definitely up there with the cutest. I gotta say. Like very
cool. And he knows he's cute too. That's the problem.
That's how they get you, isn't it? They know, like, yeah. Don't have a dog. I used to have like a couple of guinea pigs, and like they knew that they were good looking. You know what I mean? They knew they could get away with anything, like biting all the walls. We had to we lost so much deposit on the apartment we moved out of because they bitten the sides of the walls to shit.
Yeah, literally the day, 2 days before I left for Rev Pro. I literally was patching a piece of drywall that he messed up. I'm like, you're lucky you're cute.
He's like, what are you gonna do about it?
Exactly. Like I yell at him and he just comes cuddle me and I'm like, oh.
Can't say mad at you. Yeah. Easier to forgive than in marriage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're still working on that.
But it's nice of her to let the dog in with you so you have some company.
Well, she's actually gone right now.
So you've got free reign. Oh, I appreciate you taking it with me then. You should be out living life in the living room and stuff. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I should probably have the door cracked a little bit.
Just in case, yeah. You'll turn up by the window and be like, what have you been saying about me?
I have a sign in the window that says help me, but nobody's done anything about it yet.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, I think that leads very nicely and not at all onto our... Actually, I was going to say onto our final feature. I've got to ask you one more thing before we do. So we had Hyan on the show, again, a little while ago, and she swore by Whataburger. And as a new Texas resident, I didn't mean that to come out the way it did. So I was just thinking about it in my head. As a new Texas resident, is Whataburger that good or is it all hype?
It's so good. It's so good.
Is it?
When I first moved here, I had to stop myself because the first like I said, I was trying to find new places to eat and stuff like that. I would have a Whataburger Wednesdays. And try to limit myself to only having it on Wednesdays, and then I realized I can't be spending money like this on the regular, so I had to dial it back. The first time I had it, it was because I had a layover in Dallas when we were still living in the Midwest, and Hyan was like, "Oh, the Whataburger there is so good, I miss it," and I was like, "Well, joke's on you, I'm gonna get it, and you can't have it." And so I went to go get it as a joke. I took a picture of it, sent it to her. I took a bite of it, and I went audibly. I remember going, "Holy shit." I was like, oh my God. And I had a Dr. Pepper shake with it, and I was like, we need to move here now. The burgers are so good, and the fries, magnificent, shakes, just.
It's not all just hype then.
It's not hype. It's like Nando's, man. You have to be here to truly experience.
It won't be as good anywhere else, yeah.
Nope, and it's only in Texas too.
Oh, is it? They don't have anywhere outside of Texas?
Nope, and it was from where we live now to where we were living, it was about an 18-hour drive. I think we had a show and we were checking out some stuff or whatever, apartments, houses, and things like that. We were driving and there's Whataburgers everywhere. It's like a Starbucks, and I was like they were busy, and I was like, oh, I'll just get the next one. I'll just wait for the next one. Next thing I know, there's no more Whataburgers, and I'm stewing for the next like 16, 17 hours of our trip because I wasted that moment. I was like, I should have waited an hour. I don't care.
You're like, wait to the next one. The next one never comes. You're like, where is it? It's got to be here.
Exactly. I checked the GPS, like, yeah, it's 30 minutes in the opposite direction. I was like,
for fuck's sake.
Exactly.
That's fair. But like you said, like Hyan said as well when she came on, like Houston, like great scene, like great, like culturally, like food wise, like diversity wise, in terms of like culture as well. Like it must be like just a great place to live for all of those things.
Oh yeah, it's honestly phenomenal. You can have literally anything that you would want to eat, you can find here. I know when Amira was here, she lost her mind at the sizes. Like she's like, how is this a large? There's no way. I'm like, yeah, it's just like what we have is a large. She's like, it's as big as my head. I'm like, yeah, you're welcome. Yep, this is why America has diabetes all the time.
Yeah. Watching Amira's America like trip on her Instagram was very funny. Like she was just like having the time of her life out there.
Yeah, she lost her mind. Yeah. She was saying in here before, this was like my personal.
Yeah.
Like every morning we would get coffee, and it's the same thing. I'm just like, thank you. Yeah. Oh, it's so big. Yeah. And I'm like, it's a large coffee.
Yeah, could feed like 3. Yeah.
Exactly. But no, she was like the best house guest. She's like, oh, anything you need to do? I'm like, you are a guest. You need to just relax and just chill. And she's like, just go to the pool like for like the entire day. And I'm like, yeah. Have fun.
Love it. Yeah. Nice. I love that. Yeah, that's great. I mean, like, again, like, is it similar over here? Like or like the opposite over here? When you were over here, like, if you get a coffee and you're like, why is it so small?
I was so mad. Yeah. The first large I took a picture of it, actually. I posted on my story. I was like, I feel like Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
This thing is literally just like a nugget in my hand.
Yeah, we do things different over here. We don't need that much coffee. Actually, we probably do need that much coffee, but we don't have that. We don't get that much coffee.
Yes, and I definitely, because I'm used to like having like 2 larges. And
I was going to say, yeah, it must be like a real detox almost. Like you're like, I'm not getting the normal amount I get.
Yes, that's honestly, it very much was. I was getting like headaches, and I'm like, oh, I just need caffeine. Oh my God, I'll be fine. I'll stop it out.
Brilliant. Well, actually, the food thing is a good segue into our final feature, because this is called Anatomy of a Pro Wrestler, and this is where we're going to learn just a little bit more about you as a person, not Stephen Wolf in the ring. And the first question, I say it leads on nicely because the first question is about food. So again, it's similar to the dishing the dirt. I'm going to pose you some questions, and you just let me know, like almost like quick fiery style, what comes to mind. So the first one is your favorite post pinfall pig out.
Post pinfall pig out. I love having tacos after a match. Like there's this place that's like not even 5 minutes from the venue, from where New Texas runs, and I'll get like 7 tacos and just devour them. I don't care.
What do you get in them? What's your choice?
So it's Spanish. So like, I'm like very, very lightly like Spanish speaking person. I can order food and that's it.
Nice.
It's a tacos al pastor, which is I believe it's like pork.
Yeah.
And like that, onion, cilantro, and a corn tortilla. And like it's simple but so elegant. Have a little bit of lime on there. Yeah,
nice.
It's a wrap.
Love it. I can't confirm. I went to watch back, but if memory serves right, I'm pretty sure Hyan said tacos as well. Like, I'm pretty sure you both had said the same answer for that.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
The next one, they aren't all food based, but the next one it's the final like food related question I'm going to ask you today. It's what would it's a classic, like what would your death row last meal be?
Sushi.
Nice.
Yep, sushi.
Big platter.
Yes, 100%. There's a all you can eat sushi restaurant. Like a hop, skip, and a jump from my apartment.
Oh, that's dangerous. That is dangerous.
Yes, it's where I go for my birthday because I was like, I don't care. It's like $30, as much as you can eat. I think I've only left there once, like really full, because every time we go there, everybody else is like, man, I'm stuffed, and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I'm done too then.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you polite, you just dial it back even though you're not.
Yeah, I think the only time I was like actually full was like on my birthday, because I was like, it is my day, damn it. I'm doing what I want. If I want 12 rolls, I'm gonna eat 12 rolls. I don't care.
That's so dangerous. I'd be so low on money if there was all you could eat sushi in my house.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. But it's only $30, which is like,
oh, that's bargain. Oh my God. Like I could go through that in like one sitting easy without being half full.
Yes. And the nice thing is all the rolls, they give you like 8 or 9 pieces per roll. So
okay, well, I mean, like if I needed extra incentive to go to Houston, then clearly it's here, right?
Yes, exactly. Unfortunately, we don't have an extra room anymore, but
That's all right. That's what you guys will make up by then, and then I can stay. It's fine.
exactly.
The next one is what's the? We talked about music before. It's like, what's the song that gets you the most hyped?
Oh, right now, it's called. There's this channel on YouTube. It's called Divide Music.
Okay.
They put out like I'm a very big anime guy.
Right.
They put out like music videos for anime, superhero stuff like that. They have a song called "Bow Down," and it's basically like for Frieza. I don't know if you know Dragon Ball.
I know Dragon Ball like vaguely. I can't say it's the anime I'm most up to date with.
No, you're fine. But like, there's this villain called Frieza. He's probably my favorite villain ever. And they have a song like dedicated to him. And,
nice.
Like I said, "Bow Down," and it gets me hyped. Like in the gym, at home, like I'll listen to it. I'm like, I feel like I'm on God mode. So,
nice. I like that. No, I'm not a huge anime guy myself. Like again, like it's weird because like Dragon Ball Z seems like the natural one you watch growing up, but I never watched it growing up, and now I feel like it's too late to go and watch it.
Never too late.
But I was like a Yu-Gi-Oh guy and Card Captor. I like Card Captor as well, but like, no, I can't say I'm a huge. I know like Death Note. I like Death Note, but I feel like that's really basic. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that's a basic anime thing to say.
Yeah, no, Death Note is definitely the intro anime. That was the first one I watched too. I hate when people are like, "Oh, you're not a real anime fan because you don't watch this on subs." And I'm like, no, but I enjoyed this one and that one. And I dub because like that's my choice. So
do you know what's it called? My partner watches one, Detective Conan.
I don't watch that one actually.
She's really into that, and like so I listen to that a lot because I hear it in the background a lot, but I can't say I've ever watched it.
Yeah, I've now that I've like dipped my toe in it, I watch like all like Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia,
nice,
of course, Dragon Ball, Jujutsu Kaisen, like a lot of them.
Nice.
So like it's kind of my whole personality now. Unfortunately,
you've become that guy now. Yeah, that's just all it is. It's anime and wrestling.
And honestly, yeah, like if you could see the opposite side of my desk, it's just like all anime figures, like all.
Amazing. The next one is I've lost the questions. Where are they? The next one is the movie that I'd show the locker room.
Movie that I would show a locker room, Creed 3.
Nice, good choice.
I love that movie. I know a lot of stuff happened with Jonathan Majors, but Michael B. Jordan is so good. Creed 1 used to be my favorite movie, and then like Creed 3 came out, his directorial debut, crushed it, and I was like, yeah, this is my favorite movie.
Yeah. Creed's a weird one, isn't it? Because like you say, like 1 was really good, and I felt like 2 didn't quite match up with that, and then 3 was really good again.
Yes.
It was like just a weird balance that it went like good, not as good, really good.
It was like, yeah, we're gonna put this one out for now. But no, like I'm so glad 3 came out, and I was hyped the entire time.
No, it's a good choice. It's a good choice. The next one's a bit of a throwback because it's your first job.
My first job, I was a busser for one of the local restaurants.
Classic. Mm-hmm. What kind of restaurant was it?
It was like a breakfast place, so I'd get in at like 6, 7 a.m. and then I'd clock out at 3:30. I only worked weekends though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like it was only.
It's like the busiest time as well to work.
Exactly. Yeah, some other jobs like McDonald's, KFC, like the Toys R Us one.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was a busser.
Nice. Did you get a meal? Like you got a breakfast with it, or like?
No, I didn't get a meal, but like that's why you get cool with the cooks because they're like, oh hey, I made this wrong. Somebody's got to throw it out, and I was like, I got it, and I would just eat it.
Nice. Was it good? Was it a good place or like?
It actually was really good. Yeah. It was
nice. Still around?
I think so, actually. Like I said, it was like my hometown, so like it was very like I only had 2 restaurants in total. But I hope they're still around. It was a good place.
Nice. The next one gets a little deep because it's your greatest fear. My greatest fear is being forgotten. No matter if it's like in the ring or like in real life, I just want to be able to have like an impact on people's lives. To like get a little bit deeper, I do stuff from like depression and anxiety and things like that. And so like being forgotten or like not necessarily even left out, but just like, oh yeah, it's Steve, that's kind of what I heard like all growing up. Cause like I said, I was the black best friend to the popular kid. So I was always like, oh, and that's one of my biggest fears is just like after everything I've done, it doesn't matter like how much I do. It's like people are gonna forget about me. Like,
terrifying. And I think that's also something that like drives me to be what I am. Is like I refuse to be forgotten.
No, sure, I get that. And I think that's like that's good in a way. It's like healthy to have that want to like be remembered, right? And like again, I think it's like I think it's super important in terms of, you know, like opening up in terms of, like you say, like anxiety, depression, things like that. It's important to like open up about those things because I feel like it's something that's not spoken about enough. Mm-hmm. And like it's like fine to have those feelings, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, and as a guy, like it's almost like, oh, grin and bear it. Like, you know, just gotta show it's just like, no, you're allowed to have emotions too. But no, I feel like that's something that like definitely needs to be touched on a little bit more. So
no, for sure. No, I respect that. The next one lifts it back up a bit because it's your favorite animal.
Favorite animal? I'd have to say like it's wolves.
Honestly, I was gonna say I was wondering if it would be the obvious.
Yeah, wolves and gorillas too.
Nice. Yeah. Like that like brute strength as well.
Exactly. And they always like take care of their people, but they're also like the goofiest animals in the world.
Yeah, so funny watching it. It's brilliant. Like they're just so good. Like most types of monkeys, always like you watch them like enough, and you're just like something's gonna happen. Like you know it's coming.
Exactly. So yeah, I love them. That's so cool.
No, good choice. The next one's the only wrestling one on this list. It's your favorite match stipulation.
I love a good Money in the Bank match, or like
nice.
a TLC match. Like ladders, like I've probably been in like 12, 13 ladder matches in my career, and like every single one of them have been so much fun. Growing up, watching it, like, you know, like Shelton Benjamin doing his crazy stuff off the top, Edge and Christian doing their stuff, and man, like it just, I love it. I
was gonna say, I'm gonna take it on a tangent now because it's wild that I've not asked this question before on the podcast, but like in ladder matches, you know, when it's getting to the end and you've got to be like, oh, I was really struggling to get up the ladder. Mm-hmm. How long does that take to train? Like to train yourself to not just have that urge to just go shooting up? Like the mental side to stop yourself being like, I want to get to the top.
I shake the ladder when I climb. I'll like do it and I'll like shake it as I go to make it actually seem like I can't climb it up that far because this shit's unstable. Because they fall the whole time. But like, yeah, you have to do like a little bit of like a mental, like, you know, suspend disbelief.
Yeah.
Just like with, you know, everything else.
Yeah, I'm just like, I feel like it would be like so easy to like lose yourself in that moment and just go a little too fast and like, again, like take it out of that moment.
Right. Have the foot slip a little bit or something, eat it. Yeah, also terrifying.
Yeah, no, sure. The next one is only two more left. The next one's your favorite place in the world.
Favorite place in the world has to be, like, I remember going to Ireland when I was like I said, I took like a school trip. It was like England, Ireland, Wales, Paris. And I just remember Ireland being like this absolutely beautiful, like greenery, magnificent place, so calming, so just relaxed, and like I was like, damn, yeah, this is amazing.
Yeah, Ireland is beautiful. Yeah, I can attest to that. That's a good choice. The final one then is sort of like leads on from that, and I'm going to say somewhere you haven't been because it's your dream holiday destination.
Dream holiday destination. Did go to Cancun. That was incredible. I would say dream destination would be Japan.
Yeah, we get that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is like I feel like wrestlers like, oh yeah, Japan, but like honestly, like respectfully, I love Japanese wrestling, but like I want to go there for anime. Like I want to go there to get the ramen, the sushi, the food, like the actual culture. Like the wrestling is awesome, don't get me wrong, but the reason I want to go to Japan is not because of the wrestling.
I was going to say, yeah, like that is surprising because everyone does say like, oh, I want it to be a work holiday, like where I go and like wrestle as well. But I respect that as well because like again, man after my own heart. Like that's like me and my partner have like ambition to go out there next year, and like the big fear is that I won't be able to bring her home. Like, but like she'll just be there, and like I won't be able to get her on the plane to go back.
I might actually lose my plane ticket too when
you're just like, oh no, I'm just gonna stay here. The sushi again, like you just stay at the table, just keep it coming.
Exactly, and like the culture just seems so peaceful there and like beautiful. Like I know like I'm not Japanese when I'm gonna go there, so I'm not gonna be like in a kimono and like all this stuff. But like just being able to see it and appreciate it, I feel like would be just great.
Yeah, for sure. Get that. I get that. Well, that brings us nicely onto our like closing question of the podcast, and this is the only question of the podcast that isn't left by me, because we have a closing tradition here where our last guest leaves a question for our next guest. And so the question you've been left is it's an interesting one, because it's one that only a very specific portion of people are gonna understand. And, like, I mean it in no disrespect to you, but I feel like you're not going to understand it, and I'm going to have to explain it, which is going to be really weird.
This is great. I'm so excited.
So, if you understand it, it'll be brilliant, and I won't have to explain it. But, and I might have to explain it in 2 levels, because also there's, like, a dialect shift that I'm not sure if you get in America. So, the question you've been left is, who is the top shagger in indie wrestling?
Well, I've watched enough Austin Powers to where I know what that means.
Don't need to explain it.
At the top shagger.
Yeah.
I mean, me, obviously. Yeah. I'm 10 out of 10. Like, I've never had any complaints. And I feel like that's the safest answer I can also give. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to go with me.
No, it's safe and smart as well. You big yourself up and you don't put yourself in any danger from anyone else.
Exactly.
I like it. No, I respect it. I'm glad I didn't have to explain it. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
Would have been very weird to have to explain that. So,
enlighten me. What is a shagger?
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. Is like I'll tell you once we stop recording. But like the thing is that I don't explain who left the question, just for that added bit of no context that it gives.
That makes it phenomenal. Now I gotta think of a good question.
Yeah, so I'll ask you for one off like once we stop recording as well. But I think that's not the way I expected this conversation to end when we first booked it, because that's when I had that next interview and I didn't know the question they were going to leave. So that's not how I expected this chat to end. But I think it's a very good place to end it. Stephen Wolf, thank you so much for coming on the Grapple Theory podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Oh, absolutely. I had an absolute blast, man. Thank you so much.
I'm glad. Thank you so much. That means a lot. I hope you get lad out of your room soon.
I think I have like 15 minutes before she gets back.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll let you go. You can take free reign of the house until Hyan gets back. And I mean, just personally, like, congrats on everything you've had going on, like, the last, like, year or so. It's been phenomenal to see. It's really been cool to see you progress and, like, the work you're doing now. Both yourself and Hyan, like, I think you're both doing a phenomenal job. And, like, can't wait to see you back over here.
Man, yeah, and I can't wait to be back in the UK. It was so great. The people, phenomenal. Talent was just beyond great. So yeah, I can't wait to be back either. And yes, again, thank you for having me.
Of course, no worries. We always end our podcast with giving our guests the final word, the final bit of promo time. So if anyone in Texas, New Texas, or anywhere else in America, or anywhere else in Europe and the UK sees Stephen Wolf on a poster, on a flyer, on social media at a show near them, and they want to come and check you out, why is Stephen Wolf going to steal the show?
I'm going to steal the show because of the simple fact that I am different from anybody else. Yes, you have your high flyers, you have your hard hitters, you got your smack talkers, but what you don't have is somebody that is the complete package. That is honestly the perfect athlete that you would see in myself. Like when it comes to promos, when it comes to beating the hell out of people, when it comes to having a championship standard that you hold yourself to, nobody does it like Stephen Wolf. I got the suit and tie on the 99% of the time. I'm in my comfy clothes because it's in the other closet, so I can't really get my suit right now. But like I exude professionalism, and that's exactly what you'll see every single time I step in the ring.